NBC says it will not air the Golden Globes next year. The move comes after backlash over a report revealing the Hollywood Foreign Press Association didn't have a single black voting member. TJ Holmes has more.
Welcome to the 2021 Golden Globe Awards.
The Golden Globes, off for now. NBC announced it will not air the award show next year, another major blow to the Globes following months of criticism from movie stars and Hollywood insiders directed at the Hollywood Foreign Press Association after an LA Times report that revealed, among other things, none of the group's 87 voting members are black. Scarlett Johansson also spoke out against the Globes, explaining why she refused to attend press conferences held by the group for years. Attending, quote, meant facing sexist questions by some members that bordered on sexual harassment. She's now urging Hollywood to take a step back from the group unless there is necessary fundamental reform within the organization.
The winner is Tom Cruise.
Now, three-time Golden Globe winner Tom Cruise is joining the growing boycott, returning his statues to the organization.
He has 3 Golden Globes, and he said, nah, you can have these back. That's a signal to other prominent white people in power in this industry to step up and fight the fight with us.
The association's lack of black members did not go unmentioned by hosts and presenters at this year's ceremony.
I realize HFPA, maybe you guys didn't get the memo because your workplace is the back booth of a French McDonald's, but you got to change that. So here's to changing it.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that change.
It is great to be black at the Golden Globes. Back at the Golden Globes.
Just last week, the organization approved a plan meant to make its membership more inclusive, saying it planned to add at least 20 new members with a specific focus on recruiting black members. But that was too little, too late for some, including Mark Ruffalo, who won a Globe this year for his role in I Know This Much Is True.
The more we include each other and see each other and hear each other, the faster we will heal our broken hearts and minds.
Over the weekend, he said he cannot feel proud or happy about being a recipient of this award.
All right, Diane, NBC reportedly pays some $60 million a year for the broadcast rights to the Globes. After canceling it next year, essentially, they did leave open the possibility of bringing it back in years past if the Hollywood Foreign Press Association does make changes. Diane.
All right, TJ Holmes, thanks for that. And let's bring in ABC News contributor and SiriusXM radio host Mike Muse to help unpack this a little bit. Mike, thanks for being here. Put this in context. How big is this decision by NBC to not carry the Golden Globes?
It's a huge decision by NBC. What NBC is saying that the roadmap that the Hollywood Foreign Press laid out, in part to NBC, they said that it needed time to execute, but it's a signal not just by NBC, but by Netflix, by Warner Media, and by Amazon Studios that this just is too little amount. Only increasing your membership that's already only about 90 members to 20 people by the end of 2021, and then up to 50% the following year just doesn't cut it, Diane, when you think about the power that the Golden Globes have. The Golden Globes are the precursor to the Oscars. It's what everyone looks to in the industry as a signal for what could be a possible contender. But when you have a 90-member base as compared to a 10,000-member base of the Academy, and then you have over 22,000 members of the Television Academy, 90 in comparison just doesn't cut what the weight of this organization holds to the representation of it. So the question remains is, how can you have such diversity when you only have about, 110 members who will be voting?
And the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, they say that, they're going to add new members, they're going to focus on recruiting black members. Is it enough? And what did you think overall of their response there?
I didn't think the response was sufficient enough. I felt like their original plan, it showed that they don't have a real interest at its core authentically to make the change that is needed. It seemed to be more of a window dressing as a PR thing to say, hey, we're working on it. But when you authentically want to make change, Diane, as you know so well, you need sweeping reform. You need sweeping change. And just to do micro baby steps just doesn't cut it in terms of the blowback that they received. And once the veil came off and we began to understand that LA Times expose back in February, all the interworkings of how the Hollywood Foreign Press operates, then you can't do something as small as that. And I think it was very simple to have Tom Cruise return his Golden Globes. I think that is a huge statement. That is not just talk, that is action. To have the Netflix CEO, Ted, send such a strong letter to talk about how much more significant change they need is huge. The Hollywood Foreign Press definitely can do better, because you're supposed to represent this international community. How can you represent the globe with just a little over 90 members? How can you possibly scan the globe for the best possible content and the best films when you have such a small membership? You need more members in order to hold them accountable, not just for diversity, Diane, but in terms of practices and gifts that they receive.
So what do you think would be a satisfactory solution at this point?
I think you need to get rid of the entire board. I think you need to bring in fresh leadership from a CEO to a chief diversity officer. You also need a chief revenue officer, because how they bring in money and how they issue money to some of their voting members, almost as if it's payroll, that goes to the legitimacy of the reviews from the Hollywood Foreign Press from their members. That goes to the legitimacy of, did they really like this movie? Did they really like this television show? Or were they just getting paid? And as a result, of course I'm gonna like it if I'm getting a check. So there needs to be systematic change. It needs to be a whole new board. And Diane, for me, I need to see an increase in the membership. I mean, I think they should really work on a plan of bringing in anywhere from 1,000 new members over a certain amount of time, and then increasing it some type of incrementally in the thousands. But to have such significance in Hollywood, to have such a significance, and Diane, it's not about the awards. As you and I both know, the awards mean so much more to the livelihood of the actors. It gives new actors a chance. It gives diverse actors and people from marginalized communities a chance on the bigger stage to be recognized, to get other acting opportunities. It gives a chance to bring more films greenlit in Hollywood if they see there's traction. And we know that representation matters to bring about change, to hold a mirror up to our society. So all of these things are in part of what really happens to change the narrative in our culture, in our society. So to have a membership such as the Hollywood Foreign Press that hasn't had a black member since 2002 is just insufficient and borderlines more than just trouble. I think there should be other issues that should be looked at too. So this is what I think significant change needs: larger membership, and increasingly in the quantity of the thousands, new leadership in the C-suite, and new leadership on the board level.
So what happens now? What's the future of the organization if they don't have a TV home for the awards?
Well, that's a really great question. NBC said, listen, we're going to cancel for the upcoming year, but we're going to reevaluate to see if you'll be ready to come back in 2023. I think the Golden Globes will probably do something smaller for the next go round, but they definitely need to show much more change and much more of a willingness to change, and much more of a willingness to have more open dialogue with the industry as a whole. Have maybe open dialogue where we can see the transcripts of the meetings, maybe have some type of press conferences where media can question some of the boards and some of the actions. And I think once we start seeing that change, then I think we can see the Golden Globes possibly come back to broadcast so that it can be meaningful for what it was actually intended to do. But you can't call yourself international association when you're not reflective of the global society that we live in today.
All right, ABC News contributor Mike Muse, always great to have you, Mike. Thank you.
Thanks, Diane.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.